Way to a 4-love lead in the first set before taking it 6-1. The American 18-year-old fighting back, though, in the second, securing an early break. But at that point, the poll clearly deciding enough was enough. Świątek, who's won a ribbon in the colours of the Ukraine flag on her cap throughout this tournament, clinching the second 6-3, sealing victory in a little more than just an hour. Both players highly emotional as well at the conclusion of this match. And in her victory speech, Świątek with a powerful stay strong message of support as well for the people of Ukraine. I do want to cross live now to the French capital, bring in our senior sports correspondent, Christina McFarlane. Christy, thanks so much for joining us today. Coco Gauff, she has so much to be proud of, but when it comes to Świątek, well, we're just running out of superlatives now for her, it seems, aren't we?
We are, Patrick. Welcome to a very wet, windy and humid Paris in the past hour. But as you mentioned, we are celebrating Iga the Invincible. Iga Świątek proving why, once again, she is the world #1, defeating Coco Gauff with power, strength and speed. An hour and 8 minutes it took her just to win that title here today. To discuss with me alongside our tennis contributor, Ben Rothenberg. Ben, great to see you. Thank you for braving it across town to be with us. We knew that if Iga Świątek got a fast start, that she would just steamroll, and that is exactly what happened today, wasn't it?
No, absolutely. Very quickly in the final became a question of just hoping that Coco would win some games. We've seen Iga in these finals be even more dominant than she is all the rest of the time, and this was the 35th win in her 35-match win streak. But she does hit these new highs in these finals. Lost only 4 games to Naomi Osaka in the Miami final, 4 games again in the Stuttgart final to Sabalenka, 4 games to Jabeur in the Rome final, now 4 games again to Coco Gauff in this final. She just is peaking at all the right times, and her level, not at her peak, is even incredibly high already. So not much Gauff could do out there today, honestly.
Yeah, and so many records already. I mean, you might have seen on the screen just then, the youngest multiple Grand Slam winner since Maria Sharapova, 2006. This is now her 6th straight title in 2022 alone. I mean, she could go on now to become the most dominant player of her generation. How many Grand Slams are we talking? Double digits?
It's certainly time to start counting and racking them in, and just a question of, I think, where she can keep this level, which is incredibly high, and honestly, no one's really near it right now, because we feel like Iga Świątek is at her peak, or at her peak so far, at least. Maybe she can get even better somehow, but she's also at a time when a lot of other players really are not. Some people who might be her biggest rivals, people like Naomi Osaka, who's still coming back from having some difficulties last year and still trying to find her form and had an injury in the clay season this year. Bianca Andreescu, who also had a mental health break from the tour and won the 2019 U.S. Open, still not quite all the way there yet. Coco Gauff, just starting off, but still only 18 years old, not quite a challenger there yet. So the best contenders to take away from Iga's dominance are not really at their peak form right now. It's just a question of how much you can rack up before they get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Coco Gauff 18. You know, I didn't really remember that. I kept forgetting that this week, and then we saw her in tears at the end of that final. And you know, she has conducted herself like a true tennis veteran this week. How soon do you think until we see this extraordinary talent back in a Grand Slam final again?
I think there's no reason she can't do it again this year. I mean, she's been great at Wimbledon. She made her breakthrough there when she was just 15, beating Venus Williams in the first round. That's kind of why it feels like she's been around a long time, because it's already 4 years ago that we got to know her, and she's still only 18, which just, again, harkens back to how incredibly young she was back then. But she can play on grass, she can play on hard courts, so Wimbledon and the U.S. Open both could be big opportunities for her as well, and she should certainly be able to solidify into being a top 10 player in the mix. And right now, women's tennis, there's a lot of space, honestly. A lot of the players in the top 10 are not playing particularly well, and that's part of why Iga has been able to rack all this up. But also there's space for someone like Coco, like Naomi Osaka, like Bianca Andreescu to really solidify in there and make some room for themselves.
And how important is it what she was able to do this week, not just on court, but off court as well? I mean, we talk about Serena Williams, Venus Williams, we don't know when they're coming back. You know, for American tennis to have someone who is that vocal and that confident, what does that mean for
It's great
American
to have
tennis?
a young American tennis star. American tennis actually had a few good moments in the last few years. A lot of women making finals and just none of them breaking through. I mean, it's been 10 American women in finals since 2018, and only 1 title, all of them from Sophia Kenin back in Australia. It's been some close calls for them for sure, but Coco Gauff's been talked about as the future for a very long time, and she made the U.S. Open Junior final when she was just 13 years old.
Yeah.
And so this is a great consolidation and a great demonstration of her promise we've known for a long time.
Yeah, she will of course be back to compete for another title. She still has a chance to take the doubles title here on Sunday. But as the heavens pour down, today is all about Iga the Unstoppable. And Patrick, it's going to be really exciting to see where she goes next.
It most certainly is. Chrissy and Ben there, thank you so much for joining us today, and do stay dry as well. All right, the men's Sunday. Well, the men's singles final is on Sunday. We've got Rafa Nadal taking on the young Norwegian player Casper Ruud. Nadal overcoming Alexander Zverev on Friday in the semis. Zverev suffering a really painful-looking injury as well. Was forced to withdraw, remember, in that second set. Well, the German star was leading 6-5 in that particular set, as I say, having lost the opener, but then falling and screaming in agony while grabbing his right ankle. It was really tough to watch as well. The 25-year-old leaving the court in a wheelchair before eventually coming back out on crutches to address the crowd. A really courageous gesture in itself. As Zverev later on providing this update on just what he went through.
Very difficult moment for me today on the court. Obviously, fantastic match until happened what happened. Looks like I have a very serious injury, but the medical team and the doctors are still checking on it, and we'll keep you updated.
Well, wishing Alexander all the very best there in his recovery. Well, ahead, all eyes on the Welsh capital city of Cardiff this weekend. A date with destiny for Ukraine's national team. We're counting down now to the World Cup playoff that is about so much more than football.